last. So Alex will be talking to two women. Intimate Alex. Only mommy you never got Sunday.
All right. I'm enjoying myself already, but I have to read this for you who is watching because this is a very interesting interview we're going to be having. All right, so we'll be talking to Kezia Kenneth Azumah. As a member of the Ghana Bar Association and the Greater Accra Bar. That is heavy. She's also board member of the FIDA Ghana, an executive member of Christian Lawyers Fellowship Ghana. We keep moving and says that she's also represents English-speaking West Africa in Advocate Africa, Christian Lawyers in Africa. Let me proceed more. She's a co-founder of Light in Law Ministry, a ministry that ministers to the spiritual growth of young Christian lawyers. She is also a partner and lawyer at Light Associates Unlimited. All right. She is a general legal practitioner with active practice in family law, land law, and employment law. Her family currently attends International Central Gospel Church, Upper Room Temple, Mataheko, Accra, Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, folks who are watching, welcome. Lawyer Kezia. It's Zane.
Thank you.
Oh. We need Japan. And right now, doing common baby so guys, I realize and we need Japan because this is interesting. This is my first time sitting and having a conversation with a lawyer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Is it Miniaji? All right, so let's get into it. Udino, let's talk about your name first. Kezia.
Yes.
Maybe say I said something.
I don't know. But I picked it from Job 42:14.
Job 42:14.
Yes, when I was in the secondary school.
Oh, okay.
Those who know me when I was younger, they know my previous names. Now they are just initials on my documents. But I still have kept my previous names. But I chose Kezia because I found in the scriptures that Job had lost everything. He got a new set of children, and there were 7 boys. And these 3 girls, Jemima, Kezia, and Karen Hapoch, were very beautiful according to the scripture. And they had an inheritance with their brothers. So it is the combination of the two that made me choose the name.
You saw yourself beautiful and worthy of that name.
The lawyer saw inheritance and chose the name.
And then so I started using the name when I was in the secondary school and in the university. I was using the name. A lot of people knew my official name, but they knew more about the Kezia. And when I started working, my official name was on my documents. The Kezia was what I was called by. Okay. So when I married, then I gazetted the Kezia. Oh, wow. So my gazette has a lot of permutations. Previously known as this, previously known as that, previously known as that. So that's how I chose the name Kezia.
The desire to become a lawyer. When did that start?
Oh, that's my first degree is 21 years old this year. I did management.
Your first what?
Degree.
21 years old.
This year.
Wow.
I finished in 2002.
Wow.
From University of Cape Coast. I was 23.
Oh, okay.
And the course was basically, initially it was sequel secretaryship. Then they transitioned it. We were the first batch that did management studies. But the emphasis was a secretaryship program. And then with a lot of management courses like production management, HR, marketing, among other things. But when you gained unemployment, your employers basically put you in an executive secretaryship position. So my first boss, Moses Tete, was in NCR, and I was his personal assistant.
Okay.
Yes, I was an executive assistant to him. Then I moved on to a company called GDS Africa, still doing executive assistant job. Then I was the first local staff of BSIC Ghana, the bank that has merged with Omega.
Oh, okay.
When they were recruiting their staff, I was their personal assistant helping the promoters to recruit their first staff. So doing the law came along when I found that I will help all these big people to achieve a certain target, but my name doesn't come up. And I also found that if my colleague did accounting and he chatted, he became my boss. I also found that I didn't have a flexible life. Like, you can't choose when to work, when not to work, what to do, what not to do. You can't have a life of your own in the positions that I was holding. You always had to appear at a particular time. There was a record book and all those things. I grew up with a mother who was a nurse, but her career was such that she was in the environment. I mean, what I mean by the environment was that her office and our house was very close. So when she was not in the house, she was in the office. Or she
had
did
a flexible.
Correct. And then she did a few domestic farming too. So you find her at home, you find her in the office, or you find her on the farm. And I wanted that kind of lifestyle to be able to live with my children the way my mother was. Yes. So along the line, as I continued to work, I met my husband.
Oh, okay.
So when I met my husband, one of the first questions he asked me is, why are you not in school? I said, if I get money, I will go to school. And so one of the conditions for the marriage was for me to go back to school.
One of the conditions for the marriage was for you to go back to school?
Yes, because he said he wanted a very powerful woman who was high up there. So he asked me whether I would do the marriage first and go to the school, or I would do the school first and get married. And I knew that if he started paying school fees and we were not married, nothing will bind him, to continue. If you discover...
To pay.
Yes.
If you were a lawyer way before you became a lawyer.
If you discover a few things along the line, you may just say, I'm not going to marry the girl, cry again. So I said that let's get married first and I'll go to school. And he is the one who sent for the forms. I applied for a management course at UCC to do my master's, and I applied for the law. The management at UCC said I was not a manager at the time. It was organizational development or something like that. They said I was not a manager, so they didn't pick me. But I passed the law entrance exam and passed the interview. And I was 5 months pregnant with our first child. And I entered the Faculty of Law in 2008. So then the rest is history. Then I had a second child when I was in law school in 2012. So I had first 2 children whilst reading law. And I had the last 2 children as a lawyer. So my last 2 children are 6 and 3. My first 2 children are 14 and 11.
Wow. I have just 3 questions, then I give it back to Alex. My first one is how flexible is it being a lawyer? You said that you wanted to be flexible. Yes. You wanted growing up, you saw your mother living in that environment. She was a nurse.
Yes.
She could go to work, come back home. She had a garden and everything. Do you have that?
Well, I am grateful for the decisions that I made in terms of my career. In the law, you have a lot of decisions you can make.
Oh.
Yes. You can decide to teach. You can decide to go to the bench and be a judge. You can decide to be private practitioner, like I am. You can decide to be corporate lawyer. You work for companies. And you are sitting there 8 to 8. Last 3 weeks or so, we met one of my colleagues and we're having a conversation with another lawyer. She said she closes at 9 p.m. Me, I can't.
You can't. You know, I am very interested in the fact that your husband, when you met him, he said he wanted a powerful woman.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but this is almost the first time I've heard something like that.
Same here.
And for me, that's what drew me to marry him. Because I had met other people who had a problem with the dreams that I had. I used to have a lot of serious dreams. That's why I was telling you that I think that where I am now is the foundation. I'm still at the foundational level from the kind of things that I saw myself
with
do
all this resume.
or become. Yes.
Wow.
I think that I'm still at the foundation level. So I normally don't like to talk about what I have become at this time.
Because
I want to wait for 5-10 years time, then we can have a conversation, hopefully.
I will be here, probably having a conversation, but not in the seat. I'll just come because I'll be somewhere. Me too, I have bigger dreams, you know, so I'll be somewhere. But I'll come, we'll have the conversation, and then we'll go back to our new lives.
Our respective places.
Yes, our respective places. You know, again,
but
you
I
are to
believe that
family.
marriage must make you better.
Marriage must
make you better.
Oh, okay.
And it has for me. And it has also for my husband, because when I met him, he had just started doing his first master's degree. Now he has a second master's degree. And I told him that he should do PhD for me. Because I wanted to marry a doctor that I didn't get. The doctor said I was a secretary he didn't like.
You people are very interesting.
So I told him to get a PhD.
So that you will be a doctor's wife.
By the grace of God, this year he has attained it.
So you're a doctor's wife?
I'm a doctor's wife. So Kenneth is called Dr. Kenneth Azumah.
Oh,
so I use all
wonderful.
his names.
I like the challenge and the agreement.
Yes.
You know, and what goes on in your home. You're giving me an idea.
It has not always been agreement.
It's like give and take. You do this, I do that.
Yes.
You do that, I do this.
Yes.
And then we can all grow. It's like you are challenging each other.
It's a very, our marriage is, can I say it's very competitive or something like
competitive.
that? Maybe.
And it's healthy.
Or complementary as well.
Yes, complementary. And it's healthy for you.
Yes, very. So you would do this, then I'll also do that. Then I'll support here, then I'll do that. Then he also support here. Some of them we communicate, some of them too, you see the action, then you know that you have to also do that too, otherwise. Then you pray.
Okay, so how is this thing, how is this competitive, complementary, you know, living, you know, bond, saying that
I think our children feel a lot of pressure. Especially my first two. The first one, I said, me, I don't want to be a lawyer. Because he always sees that I must read, I must work hard. My office is also in my environment. The law says that you should be 10 feet apart or some particular radius for your office. Now make sure it's like that. So the only time that I'm not available is when I'm in court or I've gone for a certain meeting. But then the radius is there. I am in that room at the other flat. That's where my office is.
Okay.
So my third son, every morning he'll say, Mommy, today will you go to court? He wants to find out whether he'll come back to meet me
or not.
Or he will not come back to meet me.
Please, Kezia, let's talk about, you went to family law.
Yes.
And your family and yourself, you know, you attend ICGC.
Yes.
Or Matayoko.
Yes.
And in doing that, you know, you are also into the church.
Yes.
You know, and you have also lawyers over there that you I want to know that relationship where you went to family law and that you are into that also in the church. I know, sir, there are a lot of times and free. Sorry, we have had an arbitrator here that spoke about a lot of family issues, a lot of family issues that they get to sit and solve. How do you manage to help, or what do you do about that in church?
As for my church, in my current church, I am a very quiet member, but I'm very active amongst lawyers, fellowships, and amongst my clients and other places. So, for example, if I get a client who has a divorce matter, whether you are male or female, I'll assess your case and tell you that this one is in Bible. Yes, and people don't like that part of me, but I tell them that you may be divorcing, but it shouldn't pass beyond you. Because I try to trace the histories. I don't just collect the cases and don't ask questions and say, is this a case? We are just doing. No, I will trace the history. I ask you, how is your relationship with your parents? Are your parents still married? Your grandparents? How about your partner? How did your marriage start? I'm interested in those stories. Then I can point you out because of a lot of things that I have seen and what the Lord has taught me himself and what I have read and the experiences and the literature of the law, what brings about the divorces a lot. I can tell you that this is where you went wrong. There are about 1 or 2 cases that were able to reconcile. The people divorced and they remarried. and one of them too, they withdrew the divorce and they are fine, okay? But those are very, very few. Immediately people come to a lawyer, the issue of going back becomes almost zero, you see. But personally, I don't do my cases like a transaction. And I don't view marriage as a transaction.
What does that mean?
Some people, you know, when you are divorcing, there is a need to share property and to have access to children and custody of the children. Okay, those are the requirements or the ancillary reliefs outside of a divorce. The court will be the one to make a pronouncement and say the marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation. That one, there are about a number of 5 or so factors that there's been an adultery that you cannot forgive. But the adultery should be 6 months. If it's past 6 months there, you can forgive. That one, you are bailed out, yes. Then unreasonable behavior, that's how a lot of people come. Unreasonable behavior can be anything. Somebody came to tell me that I can't stand him. Yes, so when she said, I can't stand him, I was telling myself that, how can you say you can't stand him?
Oh, to mean dinner. Papa, no.
Yes, and that he was very some way. His conversations, his character, his behavior. And I said, you can't stand him saying. So, well, I thought that because of her family background, that's why she was doing, I can't stand him. So I spoke to her. We are still very good friends. Some of my clients become my friends because of how I deal with the cases. And some of them too don't want to look at me at all. Some of them refuse to pay. So those are, it's not always rosy. So I want you to understand the dynamics. Some of them refuse to pay, then they stop talking to them, become your enemies forever. I can decide to send me the best check.
Wow.
You can decide so the best check.
Yes.
Wow.
I
want to see, you from the beginning.
And then when you do that, and you are a Christian, you go to God and collect your money.
Hey.
Okay.
So that's also possible. You see, so like I said, some of them become my friends. So even beyond the divorce, we still talk. So how are the children? How are this? I advise some of them when I said, look, focus on your children, look after them, and just pray that they turn out well. That is what you got. Some people divorce and they don't even get children. How about that? So if you got children, and those who divorce and they don't get children, I advise them, let's do adoption. Let's do this, let's do that. Oh, I've heard that there's some child here who has been dumped. Are you interested? And I can still make those calls, and if you are interested, I connect and things like that. We have all those conversations about how to move on nicely.
Yanko ma wo mo ya lawyer for e wo Ghana. Nansenya lawyer for man kan ya mpacho na wa correct me. Nansenya lawyer for graduate ye no men kan sa. A lawyer for graduate ye no. So ko ye frɛ wo mo no. Wa say me say wan kan ye na wa kyerɛ me. Ye frɛ wo mo no. They call them to the bar and ye frɛ lawyer na your frɛ.
To say sofudi.
To say sofudi your frɛ. Ya frɛ wa wonko. Nti ye frɛ wo mo no. Utimi hu say social media so no na ye bo man na ba so mo chemmema asem na meka ne hu ye no
explain
man no man na ye frɛ wo mo no say ne man ne many na ye frɛ wo but you say man no they had a lot of
awards
awards congratulations no people were very excited Emma no dodo na hu say net so na man no were getting all the piece oba wa lawyer me so minim say a lawyer for the man many na na when you started no o say enwuma bi wo hono mu a utimi boa wa build enipa no ebedu ono na afi ne ye oba be your boss kra ye bo abaso na we ya na wudin enka ho ena sabio wo ne wo colleague kra na ebe wie so okokochata na eche se wa ba be da no boss and all of these things no e ka ho bi na wo pese wo ye adwuma a wo so wo be de wo ho a wo betimi aye flexible me patro anya bia no aye wo se a lawyer for man no ana lawyer die na nkasa na wo mu no eye male dominated na anti no so oba etimi ye fra oba na akoye bibi kese a na huhu ana
Oh, beginning no dey na ye male dominated pa. Ye ko mu kra no. Say ye friend me 2012.
Okay.
Enti that time no kra no na emema no doors chen ye. Me batch no. Na emema no doors chen ye, but e ba ye chirefo no. Omo amudi ye chisisi ano. Last year na me dey lecture bi wo University of Ghana kasa. Na o say man twa academically chen emema no.
Wow.
Enti no utwa na o majew. Oh, their results are better. Their results are good. Na o majew. What you say? Enti say no emma no de yes so ye doors. E chire man de emma no doors.
Doors. Mama brand ye fra 2012. What brand so na man no no so.
No, that is a difference no. Emma no we nim.
E we nim chain emma no.
Numbers no doors.
In numbers chain mo.
But they say there. In fact, batch na di echi no was 2013 batch. I suspect say time I faculty na emma no doors kakra chain emma. But it has continued like that. Sana mate.
Okay. Me patch me person me call what brand so no. You know, because what be ye ni wudi nkomo person me call what time no so no. What time no so no na ma emma no numbers no. Doors no. What were some of the challenges? Okay. What were some of the challenges? Say dey na emma no enshada maybe in your opinion. Dey na emma no enshada enno so sa. You know, enno so sa na akoba ne se eye mmarima no aba be doso a chen emma na yes na emma ni suro se won be ya lawyer for ana se bribisa omu so so be ya lawyer for ana se ebia na adesua no na ewo mu no edoso emma wom ana wahu
me say opportunity some years ago na me madam for bi kasa na me ka chen say ejuma we die u bedroom anya easy na o say ya yire yan no ka chem so ya opportunity no na be ma say obi be konanim and say obi nkonanim enti opportunity that has been presented at the time no na be ma oba be ye lawyer na onye lawyer because me no me be lawyer no na ma worry dada wo na me wo kunu a osiko school
yes
no to your school fees in the 4 years I'm here alone ma anya eduma what you say enye obaby aso na benya ne saa eno so no ehun issues wo ho but me there no issues no I didn't bother the here say me see me person me lawyer
oh yeah lawyer na you three fees
no enti enye obaby aso na be force say obey lawyer me be prominent man bia me mbo ne din me ne yire ni nyina ye admission the same time na nyina so ya nyem the same time eyeni so no de nyinse no on to me fan ko school enti o jaye enne my lawyer no onye lawyer
okay
e ma na nsen kura no me boni din abehu di kunu nya serious issue but em say okoye ade foforo a no so beboa ne family o e ma no e ya na ye dream family e na ye wo more limitations so wehu enye oba bia na obanyim kura ne family beti ase say on go school because me ma men so ebetena ye ho ehwe me ma first two no ansa na nyame etu nsa friend me ye lawyer no 7 months na me ma me free mo na subsequently no me nuanom so eba beboa me na nyame ayadom say metimi fa nkofo a omo yese ma me nyesa ejuma no say wonko na wo gi bibia bo so a ebia obewu
be de papa ba
untimi enka say wo ye lawyer no na wonko aso na wo ne waduane na wo twitwi nkukuom na wo si niama na wo ye me de me ntimi ntinyame ayadom na metafa house helps na no so se me jai ba me fa nkofo bia mo so still omoboa
ti na nyame adom it's like the way I guess I didn't come on the wall. You just have to, you know, over calculate the calculation. Oh, yes, there's a calculation. Well, but still now, we come from Crawford, what we said, you know, or better just own to me, you know, or Jai has a crop alternative, you know, for the whole situation.
A brabado dear. Once I go point and frey and I a woman dear battles no dear guso. Enti se we anye yi we be ye se we no power sama we be power sam we complaining about you we complaining
and now I'm getting
covenanted relationships
right
and I know they want me nyai aware ye covenanted my business partners no almost some me covenanted friends me nya said am pɛ masem nti me ne na found the Light in Law Ministry no in 2010 na share law school no na I don't know how it happened but Nyankopon kan omo e ban me na mo boa me you need associations a ebe boa mo akọ wanim sankofo no wo be ka say me nya said the kwa mo pɛ masem me so ka say mo nya said the kwa mo me dia ne omo a we are going forever enti ye found the Light in Law Ministry no and they acquire adwuma ya and 3 years ago no and they found the law firm the firm Light Associates ye won't cry you will Kumasi you will Techiman.
Oh beautiful. Oh beautiful.
Light
You know I've seen the balance. You know in some na ye bisa na nkomo na ye di no me pacho no amoaso me bisa asem a utie nkomo na obegun se eye yini na ewo mu ye hu balance of eye wadwuma ene wabusua your family life and eye wadwuma wo ye as a lawyer ye hu balance no wa kire nyama bi a wutimi ye. I like your honesty, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, nyama bi a wutimi ye any your difficulties, you know, at some particular point obi wo no mo a ni ma bebre me so na me wa adamfo bi sa ni yeko school uni mu ho no mo a na o 5 one maybe me drums university the property me aba but around the time no maybe me dwene ho say na say onyuma wo say first no o say bi wo school na wo fafuru a wontimi nko back to the school but enei wo betimi e de akọ school especially when it's university
na me call interview na me nyim 5 months partner member back be say me said do I think that they are joking here na me dey nyin say ya ba say me ba be ko school na me see o me
man
yes na me say me ni me kunu aka enti me ni say nya agro na e ba bedi
have you see why we were surprised
now 2 weeks to the time of the exam first semester no and na come with my first born no and na me student tutor at the time me person me boni di say why beg man or a professor of law say and o ka kire me say ye mompaye say unwu on an exam day pompaye say ubewu after the exam and now before the exam choose baako o ka kire me o friend me no say the situation etia no ube pompaye nti me no agree ni choose baako ubewu after the exam and now ubewu before the exam choose am say o minim say the ebeko say me wo da
prayer na say
enti I say we should agree and pray so he's telling me say I should choose between say me before the exam or after the exam so that I will not give birth on an exam day because me won an exam day mean to me enjoy exam well okay dem say ono negere ono so ya young man ono so na negere a wonti o see so won an exam day don't to me enjoy but who before the exam and after the exam who bet me a choice exam na me so person me who after the exam me ka say so na according to the records why you due Yankopon push akwa no go 2 weeks after inti me wono 3 days after the exam.
Wow.
The we first semester exam 13th of December, we wono 16th December. Simple.
Yeah, simple. You know, yeah, simple. Because I'm also thinking, say, what me a balance? You had a support system as a female. Say, ukunu etumi kra. Can say, young warriors who go school and I say, ube go school no. I'm near worry. And you know, we are sharp. You know, we say no. Say me go school man warrior. Now we just see kwa we say warrior. And me worry be man. Na me the end of the day. Me worry near go school because then there's a sort of responsibility. Yes, there's a sort of responsibility. I've learned that you can have both. I have learned that. So if you na wunji afia many amesi that's one. And the way I will balance here, who say no me hiamwa. Ejuma na me de me hu kom no at the time no na mema no kom animu more in numbers no inti no me hiamwa wunyamwa you had that support from family as well inti na wutimi e balance nyama bia you had more dreams and as you said you have more dreams and all of that and nay we say assessor the last time you checked no what it say and then a man no dodo na ewra eye law nimu omo ya dia ye frem more now I understand why there's a lot of congratulations you know on the net yeah now what do you think is different now ewo emma so omo kwakosua law aside when we say omo ya dia omo sua dia what do you think is different now from then no dear na different now because me minim say law no matete say law no obetimi aye no bebre say na wo describe it and you can sit and obetina fa apon wanumre na wako ebi ekokot ebi nkokot ebi so what is different masisia na mano want to join ka first no lawyer crowd you usuro ba wo nko ho kra ampa ebia before even 2012 usuro kra wo nko ho kra hu ne say mema ne yesan ka kire say lawyer for di omu wu asabio ya dane o machini ya bo mo mago so omu di trust ana na omo ye iti ye dia hyehyehye wadwene mu kra ma o mpese obebe hu
mi ankasa kra no me susu say me lawyer
one danjuni
Debbie one danjuni say me lawyer but empire mu ana menya ofre no se me kasama nipa ebeboa
okay
enti se me bufu kwa na me decide se ade we kra this area me jai na ma say different revelations say we meet me jai because man no kwa homete kakra because all tete no u buano no or filisa won't ase say or tete but ebra no different from atete na wo komu no nti my media mejuma no when I go to court mejuma no say me ebra no whichever I want mramu no meji ama but me no ba outsider na ma kan ya system ni fi nyansa che say dia wosusu ye contribution a wo ye anyway enye next time jai and I say see who in this particular way in this character in this way so that when you be a belase
okay
because me feel say we jawari jai sa forever but you say kwari obi mpa obi pe that's what I think
okay
but to come to your question no say emano the entia omudoso this is my personal view and he say maybe who more examples
right
and now there's more support and your body road that say take the girl child to school. I believe say it is taking a serious route. I'm a mayor. They say me what boys as first 3 children but it must start to say misuru because me who a lot of the interventions geared towards women and there are no interventions geared towards men. This is my own
Thank
view.
You very much.
My own estimation say we are not balancing it. And you know the way I hear empower man omo adwe no so no wehu me dem ye Christoni etimi filisi yakopon obo ba say onbran be ye a helper to a man
okay
enti say wo sure obema na won't be bo na enkware no that's my personal philosophy
mo abensa
say me ba mi kuna ba bomi o ti akase we nya ne ma bi we group empensu bi na ye start na ye ne hwe say ye won ne ma bi ya woni maybe pa fine beautifully we are going na me buana ye be cross 70 a ebe ye eni onyamhye I see that coming it's because we are two and I fa kwan ba akoso but obi wo ha obeka ko ware obi so onya na you say obebua no ana on who said the person can lead him or her so obi poka say and mama we or harder sometimes it is the influence I have from my partner relationship now woman why harder enye yi it's now say woman won yeding do you get it
yes
so I dey na who fa papa no ho ansa na okodi nachi what is your aspiration what do you want 3 days ago I was watching a certain video no about a week ago then the woman said oh papa no o mama shop o mama car o hand dan mama enti na me feel say metimi aware no na me ko ware no na nsem bebre and I can't share it on the set because I haven't verified the story but she said she got a shop she got a car she got a furnished apartment is that all there is to life
exactly
so I'm thinking that the women must go for you must have your own personal purpose you must know where you are going then you can align with someone who can lead you the men are in scripture supposed to be the leaders so want to me follow now don't even go
deep
yes want to be follow that's my personal principle want to follow now don't even go
and I won so oba na won so wonni botaye bi wo wani so a enkorem because you're saying say that's not all that ono na ye bi ma wan kasa wonnim ni a wo pe na wo de akwa ama sam ono so lead you to the right direction so people okay I get it
what is your purpose? Do you know it? What is his purpose? Can you work together? In most cases, can two work together except they be agreed? Are you in agreement? What is the agreement? And now we are not wrong. They say your man they feel pressured. I'm telling you, your man no feel very pressured because mommy is your papa is your dear.
Nti no mu si fie no.
Mommy is a go getter, papa is a go getter. But me catch them say, everybody is unique, and I love them all equally. Just that the person who see baby are comfortable. I'm there to support them. I'm there to encourage them. So I spend most of my evenings with them.
Akwa say a man kwan de.
Three.
Obaba ko. Oh, safe. Safe. Oh, oba no be enjoy. Safe. A man no de. Omo no mo de ire beba fie no. Omo ba beto ire ba beto omo maame. Omo maame omo beba na wo tena se na woni purpose a. Now, you see, I'm a band of the walk.
Now interviews.
Obey interviews. Obey interviews. I am glad.
Do you think when it gets to that point, you put a lot of pressure on the kids?
No, not even my first son. Or I don't be my friend said, that's your girlfriend. Your girlfriend is more serious than you. I'll let her leave you.
I am more serious than your son. My manager because or veteran
because girl mommy ya madam fu.
Oh.
And I me ban pe girl na stem. Ya ko obi a na wa dress gentle.
Just gentle.
No I know who no I catch me say it is a girl's birthday so na ja me so maboa me ho. Na my guy say you see that correct she is. If you don't line up obey jao.
Yeah, I'm pursuing myself question.
I see. That's interesting.
Yes. When you go, so I have all this conversation with the boys.
Oh, that's very interesting.
When you're going into the courtroom and you have to face a male opponent, how do you psych yourself?
Hey, that one we are in a courtroom, so I don't see myself as a woman when I'm in the courtroom.
You're all lawyers. Exactly. I mean,
I remember that I was doing a case with the other lawyer was a man. His client was also a lawyer. At the time he was a client, he was a lawyer. And then they will come to court and forgive my language, but they will come and be misbehaving. Yes, they will be talking anyhow. For example, you are cross-examining their client. Then you ask him a question. Then they start being disrespectful. Oh, I don't allow that one day. I would put you in your place. Okay. So one day...
Is that intentional? Was that intentional for them to do what they were doing?
Occasionally, they forget that we are just professionals. So you have to look at me as a professional, not as a woman. Oh. When I'm in the courtroom, I'm not a woman. I'm a lawyer.
You're a lawyer.
Then when I'm at home, then I'm a wife. I'm a mother. When I'm in church, I'm a woman.
So they feel that you're a woman in court.
Space, so I don't like people calling me counsel when I'm not doing the law. Say, who friend me? Now you're madam for now friend me counsel pair. It just puts the professional cap on my head. That's how I feel personally. So we are madam for now friend me Kezia. Now you're born common. But we started to counsel pair. Now I'm feeling no, I'm feeling say or say me dream say lawyer.
Wow, automatically.
So we are not always prepared to answer legal questions or to be lawyers. That's me. I segregate my life.
Is best. Me coffee me mama me yere me wear juma munso and you whom ya me counsel no pepepe. But you know, and when you are with your friends too, you are with your friends.
Yeah, my
friends. That's wonderful. I still want to know the story about, you know, kodru honum and some men feel say or your bar and no jina honti nebi on be nyama maybe I mo feel say in doing that no mo be intimidate you and answer then.
Oh, say we are younger lawyer dear. Sometimes no. Who to me get intimidated not just by another man or even another woman. We are intimidated when we are younger at the bar now. Ebia asem na wo de konakasa wala sa usuro kakra. Some of the cases too, no, force is BDHD. That's the fact. Case wow, yeah, no matter how long you are at the bar, who feel heavy kakra.
Wow.
And you know, as a Christian, you have to spend more time praying over it and being more prepared, reading your brief over and over again, reading your arguments, speaking over the court. You have to speak over the court. You have to take dominion. The Bible says wherever the foot is tread upon, you take possession. So you must do all of that. Yeah, susum eduma na ye physical so and na ye academic so. That's how I see it. Well, enti no say omo ba no misbehavior. Sometimes I ignore and put them in their place. Sometimes I just look at it and personally I focus. Well, and na law no say nyenti etiem. Obo how feel obi be catch guy be say me lawyer no dey okokota on kasa bebre but whatever we can na judge na ama no. Law no na ye koka enye emotions.
And enye nkekamu.
Enye nkekamu. And enye ho no na upese we impress the gallery. Omo ti court no. Omo nti asem na se. Eti bia o tietie mu a. To be kasa la no ya de ya ehu hia. Results na hwehwe. Eti mitimi nya results na.
That's it.
I am okay. And na asem bi so na me di na me so asem we de enye de. Na me ni me client kan na o si on ti ase am withdraw.
I was getting there.
Me di and I on the line. Na me who say we there share down koyi because this and this and this and this is what the law says. This and this and this is what you also did. It's baby akodo did there. Either say you copacho, say a criminal case you copacho do crime jai. And now say civil yes settle. Now you can now so be yes stubborn. Me say. But certainly me so na me should say me client do a very excellent case now ube settle na settlement yes so menji.
Wow. Wow. So you can see I manage piece na ye Kezia edi nkomo. Also very cancer very so ma had the person be cancer to Kezia. We Mrs. Azumah no san ye Kezia account Mrs. Kezia Azumah and ye na edi nkomo. But a lawyer na uni ni di nkomo. I wish you would have a conversation with her like that. I would love to have more conversations with her because our balance pa when I say balance her professional life ne spiritual life and me wo lawyer namfofo mostly men I mean ni lawyer oba adamfo and mench usho mo a wo mo nka spiritual we say and some all over then but that balance no me dem e ma ya dia ye nim sana ye de balance to ho eno na ye me fe wo ba or ye niema we have a way of doing it. Yetimi ya packaging a fine. Ube hu ana akono. Any say oba bi pese wo ye lawyer e bi a young lady, a young woman pese wo ye lawyer. What will be one thing ube catch no?
Hey, one thing is focus. Focus, and I'm a Christian, so I'll say pray. Focus and be prayerful, read your scriptures. Untimi enye lawyer na unye spiritual. Enye it's not because you see even the gates of the profession are very tight. But when you couple ma we rim. Enti we are focused. U pass your exam now bon paye. When you couple kwa ma pass exam. Una be ma 4 questions no.
I'm a pass it. Thank you very much, Kezia. Okay, so thank you very much. My name is Baby, and thank you to AF Fabric Wholesale GH and Eagles Wear GH, Alex.
All right, that's maybe one more time from us. God richly bless you. Wish you all the best.
Yes.
All right, with that.